I've got to take this trailer back to the trailer store and prepare this truck for the Gone with the Wind task. We need a cargo crane for it, and right now we have a log crane. The truck's in pretty bad shape too. It's going to need repaired. I'm not going to need this sideboard semi because I'm putting a bed on this. It takes a pretty wide turning radius. It's really not that difficult to turn. It's just, it takes a minute. I guess it does move a little slower with flat tires also. I know I have at least one flat tire on here. I'm going to put some better tires on it when I get back to the garage. I'm going to get some big beefy ones. I'm just going to flip this up and back into it. I'm going to put the crane on it to keep it from flipping back over. That's not going anywhere. That took a lot of persuasion. I have to look at this map. We're already close to the garage. That shows you how much I know about this map. Almost zero. I'm gonna just snatch a little fuel out of this bore. That should get us to the garage. I can tell a difference a little bit with driving on flats. High gear was an afterthought there. I could have got it in there a little bit sooner and we would have went through there in high. It'll take me a little while to learn these roads. I'm spooling it up for high gear. It barely got going because of those flats. It's definitely not as fast as it would be without flats. We'll get it all patched up at the garage though. These sideboard semi beds cost about $7,000, so I usually take them back whenever it's convenient. $6,800. Those trailers start adding up if you leave a lot of them out. Let's dress this thing up the way we need it. We won't be needing this. We'll just get one of these. Let's grab some big beefy wheels. That looks pretty good. I'm gonna put that advanced winch on there. We already had the dual snorkel, so we're ready for the task. Gone with the wind. Thanks for your help with the bridge, but I've found out that the materials for the new structure that were laying around that lot have vanished. I think the hurricane blew them over to the river. I saw pallets with them washed ashore the islands. Will you get them for me? Okay, we're tracking it. We have bricks all over the place, for sure. Okay, I'm gonna mark it. That will do for now. I'm just gonna move this thing out on the road and I'm gonna grab another truck to haul fuel with. This is far enough. We're taking the Actaeon. We're just gonna take out all of the fence. I may not need all of this fuel here, but I prefer it taking it. All it takes is one little mistake and you're almost out of fuel. I'd rather take my fuel with me than I have to come back and get something later. This TUS 16 Actaeon makes a great fuel truck. It's just a little bit too tippy for anything else. Of course, that's just my opinion. I know a lot of people might like using it for other things, but I think it's best for a fuel truck. That was tippy. I'm beating up the TUS 16. We're about to drive across that wooden bridge over the canyon. Next bridge we come to is going to be wooden. That tow 16 makes a lot of noise when you're towing it. It's a lot farther away than what it looked like on the map. We're almost at the wooden bridge. All of the hay on this field is baled up. Okay, here's the canyon and the wooden bridge. I'm just going to leave the does here. I forgot to shut it off. I'm just going to top off on fuel and get going. We're not going to get any more prepared than what we are now. I'm just going to go down the side here somewhere. It's going to be hard coming back up. We're sliding. This truck is a beast of a rock crawler. The dips are getting hot. It doesn't look very deep, but I want to stay out of it as much as I can until I get up to where the cargo is. Let's anchor down and grab it. I'm just going to load these from back to front. They might help me with traction. Now we go up between the canyon. It would be very hard to bust one of these tires. They're real beefy. So far, so good. That load of bricks is holding down those 3 rear axles. Oh, that's a lot of damage. I busted a shock and almost busted a tire. Those beefy tires instantly paid off though. The other tire would have busted. There's a road going up the side here somewhere that we're going to have to use when we get done collecting all of these. We're rock crawling going downhill now. I'm just going to stay out of the water as much as I can until I get up to the load. It really does rain a lot here. There are some pretty big sized rocks on this bank. It's not worse than going through that current though. If you was to try to fight the current, you'd run out of fuel way before you got this finished. There's our next one. Okay, let's anchor down and get this loaded before we get washed downstream. Let's pack it up. That's two of them. You can use diff lock in reverse if you don't use auto reverse. Differential locks can save you more often than not. Okay, we're getting out of the water for a minute. If you lightly bump a tree, it won't cause any damage and it'll help you back up quicker. That turn was too wide to shoot the gap. It looks like we're going to do some rock crawling on the river bank. This truck was built with rock crawling in mind. This thing has 5 axles and great suspension. The only truck that could outpull this is the Toast 420, but it would probably not be as heavy. I could probably win a tug of war with this if I have all these bricks on here. There are a lot of roads over here that don't show up on the map. Let's see how close we are. It's not far. Here's a land bridge. It looks pretty shallow. Here's number 3. I'm gonna try to get a good angle so I don't tip over picking this up. Let's anchor down and load it up. Let's see what the map looks like. I probably marked that a little bit excessively. I was trying to put it in high gear too soon. Stalled it out. None of these roads show up on the map. We got stopped in our tracks by a dead tree. Oh, that's a lot of damage. That's what happens when you accidentally leave the differentials locked for too long. I was thinking about remarking the map. I wasn't thinking about my differentials. Let's get this thing loaded. That's not going anywhere. It don't look too bad. I'm gonna try to squeeze up between the trees. We probably need to gear it down. It's gonna be a tight squeeze. I'm sure I can wiggle it between the trees. We have to go down there and get it in the water. I'm gonna have to do reverse with diff locks. This might reach. That's not going anywhere. Let's put the anchor up and get this in. This appears to be shallow and we're not going against the water. There are some giant rocks in it. So far, so good. It's not too bad when you're not fighting the current. We're about to go up the canyon. I gotta gear down for this rock crawling. We're going to try to go up the side of the hill with this oversized load. This is where we're going up. We only have 6 gallons left. I'm going to bring some fuel down here. I'm going to put a mark on it. Now I can see where to turn it. We're hung on a dead tree limb. This is steep. Let's get topped off and get it in. I'm gonna go look for the closest place to turn around. These rocks are making it very difficult to turn. I'll leave the 16 here for a minute, and I'll just change the time and get this in. Okay, let's get up the hill. Ooh, that's tippy looking. One more tree might get us up there. That's awful steep. I'm gonna hook one on the rear just for good measure. This truck's powerful. We'll just have to drop 2 of these on the ground and deliver the first 3, reload them, and deliver the last 2. That's 3 of them. Task completed. Gone with the wind. Thank you, my friend. Now I can build my farm here and start supplying local residents with food. Your reward is deserved. Let's find something else to activate. There's a couple down here. I need to bring that TAS 16 back up here so I can take it with me. It might be easier to turn without that other truck being in front of it. It's slippery. Thank goodness for autonomous winches. It's hard to get around because of that heavy tank, but I'm gonna have to pull up some of this slack. I think we made it, but I'm gonna hook the front just in case. I'll wait right here for the other truck. Three-point turn. Let's get topped off. I'm going to mark the map. That should do it. Let's grab the TUS 16. Let's get this convoy on the road. That TUS Actaeon makes a lot of noise. That thing uses a lot of fuel too. This is a high bridge. It's a long one too. Here's our exit. There sure are a lot of roads on here that don't show up on the map. We're running short of time, so we may just have to activate this one and do it later. Let's just see what all we're going to need for this one. A truck with a crane is recommended. We have one large cargo pipe. Those are 4 slots. I may take a heavy crane and the Western Star twin steer.